We're all happy to have football back, but we're also happy to have Steve Merrill back to talk some football. You can catch Steve on wagertalk.com. Steve has been so gracious to us here at the Voice of College Football in recent years to break down the games for us each and every week and provide an exclusive under the radar selection for you Patreon members. Steve, how you doing today?
Doing well. And what was the record last year? Maybe 11-1 or 11-2?
13-1. Don't
Oh,
sell
okay. I was
yourself
shorting
short.
myself. Yeah. I'm going to go and guarantee we do not do that well this year.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would be a good bet to make right there, that you can't match 13-1. For as
I'm going
much
to
confidence
guarantee I
as
lose
have
more
in you,
games
Steve,
this year.
I've
It's
got
the first time in
amazing
my career.
confidence in you, but 13-1's a bit much.
I
had
knew it was
bragged
good.
about
I thought it was one loss, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
jinx myself and say I thought maybe there was a second one. But yeah, it was
I have pounded my chest about that the entire offseason.
good.
All right, folks, we appreciate you being here at the Notre Dame channel. And of course, the Irish at 2-0 go to Raleigh. And while Notre Dame fans are looking at Ohio State, Clemson, and USC as being the possible challenges this year, a tricky spot for the Irish on the road, 7.5-point pick, a 51 over under, Steve, at NC State.
Yeah, and the question is, which NC State team shows up? They've had potential the last few seasons, and they've kind of been up and down. Non-cover win against Connecticut last Thursday. UConn, by the way, I think is much improved. They were, along with UMass, two bottom feeders the last few seasons. We did see a little bit of a spark from Connecticut last year, and that was a huge home game. That was one of the biggest home games UConn has had in recent years, national televised. So I don't fault NC State for just a lackluster non-covering win, and they did hold UConn to only 14 points, and I think that's one of the reasons we see a fairly low total here. You look at what Notre Dame did last week. Obviously, Tennessee State, nothing special. By the way, the over-under on that game was 55. Notre Dame scored 56 on their own. They were a 48-point favorite, won 56-3. And they held Tennessee State, an average FCS team, to about 150 total yards. So obviously, it's a step up in class for both defenses now. Notre Dame had the advantage of the entire summer to prepare for that Navy option attack, even though Navy's running a little bit of a different offense this year. NC State, though, did struggle to stop the run last week. And even though they gave up only 160 yards, they gave up over 6 yards per carry. And Notre Dame is averaging over 6 yards per carry this season. So it's pretty substantial rushing advantage in this one for the Irish. My rescore, my simulated game model, which is 10,000 simulations in the database, has Notre Dame winning by 9. So at 7.5, the line's a little short. Obviously, the difference between 7.5 and 9 is pretty minimal. If it drops down to 7 or less, I think there's definitely some value with Notre Dame at that point.
You can join Steve on wagertalk.com. You get not only his selections, but the whole money management system right there. Also, join us on patreon.com. You get Steve's exclusive under the radar selection where Steve guarantees he's going to go 13-1 this year. No, I'm just kidding. That is crazy. 13-1 last year. Steve will certainly make it worth your while, though. And hey, I'm off to a 16-8 start against the spread as well. So join us there on patreon.com. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks, Mark.